Donald Trump. I look at myself in the mirror trying to figure out what makes me an American. And I see Ecuador and Puerto Rico. I see brujo spirits moving across the backs of santeros, splattered with the red blood of sacrificed chickens on their virgin white clothes, and blue beads for Yemaya, practicing religions without a roof. I see my own blood running the white sheets of a stranger, proud American blue jean labels on the side. I see Don Rosario and his guayabera sitting outside the bodega with his Puerto Rican flag, reading time in the eyes of alley cats. I see my mother trying to be more like Marilyn Monroe than Julia de Burgos. I see myself trying to be more like James Dean than Federico Garcia Lorca. I see Carlos Santana, Gloria Estefan, Ricky Martin, and Jennifer Lopez more than just sporadic Latin explosions, more like fireworks on El 4 de Julio, as American as Bruce Springsteen, Janis Joplin, Elvis Presley, and Aretha Franklin. I see Taco Bells and chicken fajitas at McDonald's. I see red, purple, blue, green, yellow, orange. I see Cheetah Rivera on Broadway. You see, I am as American as lemon merengue pie, as American as Wonder Woman's panties, as American as Madonna's bra, as American as the Quinceañeros, the Abduls, the Lees, the Jacksons, the Kennedys, all of us immigrants to the soil, since none sound American Indian to me, as American as television snow after the anthem is played, and I am not ashamed. Jose, can you see? I pledge allegiance to this country, 'tis to me, land of dreams and opportunity, land of proud detergent names and commercialism, land of corporations. If I can win gold medals at the Olympics, if I can sign my life away to die for the United States, ain't no small town hick gonna tell me I'm an American, because I can speak in 2 languages, coño, carajo, y fuck you. This is my country too, where those who not believe in freedom and diversity are the ones who need to get the hell out. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for True.
Dear girl, remember that your arrival was bloody. Your mother screams your birth song, that you drowned into life. This life ain't for the weak. Never let your knees buckle. Submission won't be your repertoire, dear girl. They will lick away your sentiments, grind away your resolve, cast aside your emotion, but they'll never find your heart. These hearts, buried deep in memories, locked in mother's womb, guarded by childhood tears. Dear girl, march proudly into battle, because this ain't game they spit in. This be civil war. They'll use civility as a pawn. They'll call you pretty to disarm you. They'll throw love to harm you. Dear girl, never battle yourself for love. Don't watch the joy dim from your eyes. Why surrender your smile to arrive on their shore? Remember, your arrival here was bloody. These warriors scream your birth song. They must take you as you are, dear girl. Remember that forked tongues tell twice the tales through clenched teeth. Watch their eyes when they speak, because those lips are smooth, those verbs light and airy, little substance, all fluff. Keep your knife sharp. These Sundays are rarely simple, sickly sweet, and you're too strong to be spoon-fed. You prefer blades under tongue. Remember, dear girl, there's no need to speak with daggers on your lips when your sighs silence souls, dear girl. Our library is full of books written by broken hearts, decorated by tear-tainted coffee rings, glitter tucked into seams between pages of rum-soaked desires, dog-eared by hope. They speak of mourning the dawn of passion, of kisses setting on the horizon of destruction, of defeat at the fall of love. Dear girl, they thought your spine was too weak to hold the boldness of your story. Your cover too soft to contain the drama. Your whimsy would collapse in the gutter, spilled like rainbows over wooden shelves, dust plumes sparkling in sun rays. There is always light, even in the darkness of your binding. Dear girl, those are not your stories. Those chapters too flimsy to hold the boldness of your heart. You will not remain suspended in time, facing forever with your heart in shambles. You will not leave notes in your margins for future reference. No, you will remain open edges slightly worn with love and care, pages burned by the heat of your smile. Dear girl, our libraries are full of books written by broken hearts, but those are not your story. Your story begins now. Thank you.
You who are shunned yet carry the weight of 1,000 underdogs. You who are shunned but stand guard at the mouth of spring, bold-faced, year after year strong like backbone and pillar. A legion of golden soldiers bearing lion's teeth. They don't know you. They don't know your white magic. They see your sorcerous ways and call you witchcraft, call you unfavorables. They see you change from sun to moon to star, and the mystery has them dread you. Who are they to order the eradication of you? Who are they to dirty your name when every property of you pulses purification? Oh, you of celestial bodies, you who are shunned yet continue to heal nations, you who continue to showcase your fertile crown on Mother Earth's green carpets, you who take flight with wind colonizing the world over, you, prehistoric delicacy, food of kings and queens, savior of tribes, miracle drug, symbol of life, symbol of strength. You, countless tallies for every woman beat. You for every time a woman is thought she can't. You for the disabled void of chance. You for the bought, sold, and child. You for dead Syrians washing up on shores. You for every last breath. You for the bullied. For the too tall, too short, too thin, too fat, too sexed, too anything that needn't anyone's useless utterances. You for the cries of the oppressed. You who won't let one voice go unnoticed. A bloom for you, and you, and you, and you who challenge the notion of what is desirable. You, dear dandelion, representing all that is not supposed to be. You, dear dandelion, you for every gone wrong, you for every injustice, you of power politics, of power puff for old and young, you of possibilities, of dreams. You, dear dandelion, one of you for one of me. Thank you.
Please give it up for one of our New Yorican legends, the one and only Sandra María Esteves.
Half blue, feet first. She battled into the world, hardly surviving the blood cord twice wrapped tense around her neck. Hanging, womb pressing, pushing, pulling life from mother's child. Fragile flesh emerging, perfect in blueness like the lifeline that sustained her, yet limp, almost a corpse. Her mother claims the Virgin interceded, invoked through divine promise and prayer that caused her dark eyes to open, her tongue to taste air like fire as blueness faded, tracing death on the tail of an eclipse. And as in birth from her darkness, the free-giving sun inched slow to visibility, revealing all color and form, a great teacher, generous and awesome, silent and reverent, loud and blasphemous, constant, sculpting edges of definition in the shadow and light of multiple universes. Half blue, feet first, she battled her way. The world did not want another brown, another slant-eyed olive Indian black child. did not want another rainbow-empowered song added to repertoire in blue or azure or indigo or Caribbean crystal. Did not want another mouth to feed, especially another rock the boat poet. Another voice open wide, fixed on a global spectrum of defiance. The meaning of war defined her, gasping and innocent before she knew her mother. Before she discovered herself, barely alive, gathering weapons into her being with each breath that filled her, growing stronger, determined to beat all the odds.
So this is called Inside the Museum of the Natural History. On this hot summer day, my son and I go to the museum because sometimes a large museum is the only logical choice if there are no good movies playing at the cinemas. We only give 50 cents to the museum because the tourists behind me are paying the full price of $25 and probably those behind them too, so don't judge me, cashier. We pay New York taxes and you've gotten enough out of us through the years. Depending on the entrance you come in, the museum is majestic, but we entered through the 81st Street train station. It is very anticlimactic, with the security guard yelling at the people to get online to the left. When we walk in, we stare at the directory. I ask him, where do you want to start? He goes, dinosaurs. Something that he's been obsessed with since he was a toddler. Then we could work our way down, he says. I nod my head, we get in the elevator, we search for Tyrannosaurus and other ancestors of domesticated animals. My son's eyes are open wide and the enormity of these creatures no one has ever seen in person. Now, I love the museum as much as anyone else does. But the Museum of Natural History is a survival strategy game on who can get out of the way fastest and say excuse me the less when trying to go through these aisles. We work our way through with a minimum of 27 excuse me's and 44 bumps into me's by people who aren't watching where they walk. A grown man bumps into my son. He turns around and kind of shrugs it off as if it was his, he shrugs it off as if it wasn't his mistake, and I give him a death stare that has burned through his skull. As his fear rose, he apologized to me, and I tell him, please apologize to my son. This has nothing to do with me. We walked through rural America, but not actual America. Biodiversity, but not cultural diversity. Environmental halls, but not environmental climate change. Human origins and fossils, but not current events or human conflict. Ocean life, but not ocean corporate destruction. Birds, and more birds, but not New York City pigeons. Reptiles and amphibians, like snakes in Congress. African people and rare gems, but not blood diamonds from Africa, from slavery and colonization. Primitive mammals, like Republicans. Vertebrates and spineless animals, like politicians. Mexico and the celebration of its culture, but no talk of American imperialism, stealing countries, or the negative outlook of forced immigration to a country's inhabitants due to war. Invisible borders, Central America, but there's no word on how many coups the United States have funded in the last 50 years. Mammals of every kind. Meteorites that have fallen from the sky that is so fucking important too. North American forests, Pacific Indians, Plain Indians, Woodland Indians, Northwest Coast Indians, South American peoples, because the word indigenous might have been too long to use for all that as one. No mention of the Amazon destruction, because corporations who are funding these exhibits are the ones constantly trying to tear it down. North American mammals, not including donkeys or elephants, because who really cares about Democrats and Republicans, and this big blue whale in the middle of the large room. And my son has asked me so many questions, and I try to give him all the answers. And I also told him, soon, you, my young little animal liberationist, you will have to make your own decisions. And you will look at these institutions that may not include any of us in their documentation until we are dead, and that's when all the things I tell you will make sense. Why fast food pizza costs more than a cup of celery and grapes, or why people look at you strange for donating to a dog shelter. You'll see how this world works sometimes against you. So if you remember your principles and remember to look up once in the blue, because one day a meteor will fall out the sky And you want to be ready because everyone else will have their heads in their phones and you'll yell to them to hurry to safety. But being the primitive animals like Donald Trump as they are, they'll wipe them out or get them put in the museum. Thank you.